A very good morning. This is Just 101's Visual Radio bringing you the news this morning. I'm Jed Abding. We start off with a look at your headlines.
News First headline.
In headlines, President orders update to Disaster Management Act to meet current needs. EDB identifies new global market opportunities amid US tariff pressure. Trump orders India tariff hike to 50% for buying Russian oil. In sports, Sun joins LAFC in MLS record deal. And on to those stories in detail. In your top story this morning, President Anurakumara Dissanayake has instructed that the Sri Lanka Disaster Management Act be updated to suit current conditions. This directive was given during the 14th session of the National Council for Disaster Management, which convened yesterday under the President's leadership. The 14th session of the National Council for Disaster Management was held yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat under the leadership of President Anurakumara Dissanayake. This marks the first time the Council has convened in 7 years. The last meeting took place on the 5th April 2018 according to the Presidential Media Division. The National Council for Disaster Management was established under the Disaster Management Act No. 13 of 2005, following the urgent national need for a structured disaster response after the devastating tsunami in 2004. At the latest session, the National Disaster Management Plans and the National Emergency Operations Plan were presented and approved by the Council. Discussions also centered on current disaster risk reduction efforts in Sri Lanka, emerging trends and future plans. A key point raised was the need for a unified operational structure with centralized coordination to enhance disaster preparedness and response. Recognizing the increasing impact of climate change, the Council emphasized the urgent need to revise the existing Disaster Management Act to align with current realities and to better meet new and evolving challenges. The committee decided that the law must be modernized to suit the present-day conditions. President Dissanayake also instructed officials to address financial constraints related to disaster response and relief measures. He directed the allocation of funds to resume stalled projects and proposed amendments to the financial provisions governing disaster management and compensation. Furthermore, the Council approved a proposal to establish a dedicated disaster management fund. President Dissanayake issued further instructions to expedite the identification of high-risk housing areas, ensure the safety of residents by relocating them where necessary, and review compensation payments. He proposed increasing the compensation amount granted by the government to affected households. And shifting your attention towards more local news, the Export Development Board says that in light of US reciprocal tariff pressures, opportunities emerging in European, Asian and other international markets have now been identified as part of efforts to diversify export markets. Now, its chairman Mangala Vijayasinghe has stated that government officials and representatives from the export sector met yesterday to discuss strategies to counter the impact of the US tariff measures. Chairman of the EDB, Mangala Vijayasinghe, has stated that exporters were made aware of government-backed financial support mechanisms aimed at assisting them during this difficult period. The session also addressed technological adaptation strategies, innovation-driven approaches, and both short and long-term trade policy responses, with a focus on ensuring the resilience and sustainability of Sri Lankan exports. Key government officials who delivered strategic briefings during the session included Dr. Harshana Surya Peruma, Secretary to the Ministry of Finance and Planning, J.M. Tilaka Jayasundara, Secretary to the Ministry of Industries and Enterprise Development, K.A. Vimaledri Raja, Secretary to the Ministry of Trade, Commerce, Food Security and Cooperative Development. The discussions took place against the backdrop of a recent US government announcement to reduce tariffs on certain imported goods from 30 to 20%, a change officially declared last Friday. The new executive order signed by the US President includes tariff revisions for 40 countries and came into effect starting today, according to a statement released by the White House. Up next is international news.
International news.
Now, shifting your attention towards news overseas, US President Donald Trump has issued an executive order hitting India with an additional 25% tariff over its purchases of Russian oil. That will raise the total tariff on Indian imports to the United States to 50%, among the highest rates imposed by the US. The new rate will come into effect in 21 days, so on the 27th August, according to the executive order. A response from India's foreign ministry on Wednesday said Delhi had already made clear its stance on imports from Russia and reiterated that the tariff is unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable. Up next is your update on sports.
Sports news.
Shifting your attention towards sports, it is football. In football, South Korean forward Son Heung-min said he is here to win after he joined LAFC for a record Major League Soccer transfer fee, ending a decade-long stint at Tottenham Hotspur. Son was introduced at LAFC's BMO Stadium, where he was greeted by LAFC fans and city officials amid chants and drumming from supporters group 3252. And with that, we wrap up this morning's edition of the S101's Visual Radio, bringing you the news. I've been Shadabdin. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.